Hello everyone. So today, beans. So I made these paws. I've got the other one right here. It's very big, so I'm just going to have the one on. So I made these with some basic fabric and everything. Let's get into how I did it. So step one was of course ordering some fabric. I just went straight to AliExpress and got some, and this is my first go at actually making some of these sorts of paws. I did kind of experiment. Where did I put it? Oh well. I put something somewhere and I forgot where I put it. Oh well. I experimented making paw pads before, but I'd never really actually made a full-on paw. And so I was kind of experimenting for a while and figuring out how could I go best about making these and keeping them even on both paws. And then it hit me. How do people keep a lot of different things symmetrical and the same? Stencils. I made one out of a pizza box. I ordered some pizza. We had a pizza night a few weeks back, and I kept a bit of the box and got a little bit artsy crafty. How I made this was I took a pattern that I made and drew it on there with a pen, a little felt tip pen, on half of it, and then I kind of copied it by folding a piece of paper over a thin piece of paper over top, flopping it over on the other side by flipping it, then kind of punching holes into the material, and then using that to make the rest of the design by filling in the dots. And I got a even pattern that is symmetrical. It's like a mirror. So if I was to fold this in half, the two halves would match. And then I cut these lines into the material, as those are actually slots, that allow me to mark the fabric evenly. This allows me to put the design straight onto the fabric. Just a piece of cardboard. You could use any other kinds of materials that you have to your disposal, but it just has to be something like a piece of stiff cardboard that holds its shape. Yeah. One of the things I will say is once I had that done, I then, using the purple fabric, I printed the design onto it with a pen. Just a light felt tip pen, like a really thin one. There's actually the pen I used right here. So one of these little wee teeny little felt tip pens. I think they're made by I'm not sponsored by any of these brands. Strablo, I can't even pronounce it. It's some brand of pen. But they're just a little felt tip pen. They're not like a biro, so they don't get bound up on the fabric and all that. They just, mark on the back of it. Once that was done, I then made the shape of the paw, which I think I can do better for the second version of this. I'm going to end up making it a bit more narrower down here, so it's a bit more contrast to the shape of your arm. But other than that, I think they're pretty good. After cutting all the fabric out, using one of them that I first start with, I then draw it on the other fabric. It took me a while because the fabric was I didn't have enough. I didn't order enough to begin with, so I ended up ordering some more, and they arrived, and I just continued on. Yeah, it took about a week and a half to arrive, maybe even a little shorter. I then grabbed a piece of this pink fabric. I just ordered 2 sheets of this, which were perfect in size, and then I stitched down through from the backing one onto it. Once I stitched that on with the sewing machine, I then cut off the excess, and I have this big plush paw. On the backing side, I stitched in, I made a little slot and then stitched to put the stuffing in, and then I also added a squeaker in each one, because of course I had to. It's a plush. And I also, after I stitched up the back here, I also added, I'm going to show you this, take it off, on each of them is this little belt loop. So you can hang them with a carabiner clip on your belt. So you don't actually have to carry these around with you. I learned this from another fursuiter who makes fursuits. And they showed me what they did. It was actually really smart. Their fursuit belt for their tail, they had a little pocket that was hidden on the side of their fursuit. You could able to then use a carabiner clip to hold your stuff, like your paws, which is brilliant. I don't know why no one else has thought about that. So that when you're using big plush paws or using your phone or that, you can easily fit your phone in that pocket, and also while you're using your phone, you can also clip these to it. Perfect. Really, seriously, anyone else out there, please make sure this is a common feature on fursuits for people who do stuff while they're in fursuit. But yeah, I think these looked amazing. I know there's a lot of little areas where I didn't quite get it right, but this just is like, I can learn from these, and I'm very happy with how these turned out. I just love how big they are. It's so big and comfy. Yeah, I think the purple and pink really are quite a nice contrast to each other. I just chose them because they look cute colours, and I'm going to be selling these ones. These were a first attempt. I'm not going to sell them for a lot, but a second attempt I might use something a bit more fluffy for the, like maybe up to like here on the wrist will be all fluffy. And see how that goes. There's also a whole slew of different types of fabrics out there I wish to use. One of them is a fabric that reacts to sunlight, and another one that reacts to temperature. There's also, you can hear this out, glow in the dark fabric. There is glow in the dark fur. That would look amazing as a fursuit. Like, imagine you go into like a dimly lit area where there's lights and all that, your fursuit glows. Not from UV light, but actually glows in the dark on its own. That would look cool. So yeah, fursuits and fur, that does really cool stuff. I'm going to be looking into doing this at some point. But yeah, getting creative. I just have a sewing machine, some scissors and a bit of stuff. Yeah. I hope this video was somewhat informative. I've just been making stuff for a FurCon while my 3D printer is not working because the stepper motor broke. Yeah, that's being shipped to me as we speak though. So I've got a new motor replacement coming in. Hopefully that'll fix the issue, and we'll get to see some more of my 3D prints. I promise that. Hopefully it isn't a matter of me having to dive deep into the printer and do stuff. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my video, and as always, thank you for watching. I do appreciate it. I've been a little bit slow lately because I've been working on a FurCon stuff like these beans, but I will show you what I do and make and all that because I think it's interesting. I've got a whole bunch of 3D printing ideas once I've got my printer up and running again. I've been just on a kind of, I guess, an uphill battle with my printer, but at the same time a whole bunch of ideas, and it's been keeping me in a good mood, and honestly, these are cute. Big beans. Yeah. You have a good day, guys, and see you around in the next video or live stream. Bye! Mwah.